Welcome into Cowboys Update here from the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco, where for the first time since 1969, the Dallas Cowboys end an NFL game in a tie. It was a Week 4 affair with the Green Bay Packers, 40-40 the final score. I'm your host, Kyle Youmans, as we take you through what happened at AT&T Stadium. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys welcoming a familiar face in Micah Parsons back to Arlington. It was a 13-0 Packers lead early. The Cowboys erased it, led at the halftime break, and then a back-and-forth affair ended up in an overtime 40-40 score where the Cowboys had opportunities, including in the extra period. Brian Schottenheimer talked about the chance to win the game, but they fell just short.
In overtime, that you on fourth down, that you even think about going for it, considering how the defense that played to that point and try to put a touchdown up?
No, we had our shots down there. I didn't really like my third down play call. I thought there's a better call I could have gone with. That's me being accountable to the team and myself. But no, I think at that point, you're in overtime. You got to give yourself a chance. You get the lead, and we're going to always trust our team. We're going to trust the team. And unfortunately, we weren't able to win the game, and we came away with a tie, and it doesn't sit well with any of us. But no, I didn't second-guess that thought.
The 40-40 final score breaks a streak of 866 consecutive games without a tie, going all the way back to Thanksgiving Day of 1969 against the San Francisco 49ers. It was the second longest streak in the NFL behind the New England Patriots, who are currently in the middle of their non-tie streak. The Cowboys putting up 40 points on offense against Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers. Parsons actually registered a late sack, and he had 10 pressures in the game, but the Cowboys, for the most part, were able to run effectively with guys like Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. They got multiple options involved, including George Pickens, but Dak Prescott was really happy with the way the offensive line played up front, not only against Parsons, but really that entire Green Bay front seven.
Goes back to the plan I guess I told you guys on Thursday, right? It was going to be hands on deck, whether it be the tight ends or whether it be the running backs. And honestly, there was one-on-ones, and those tackles did their job, stepped up and did what they needed to do, kept them off, kept them away from me. Obviously, I told you I'm playing against a time clock, whether it's Micah or whether it's the rest of those guys, Gary. They've got a great front up there. And so, we played on time. And got the ball out. Receivers got to their spots. That allowed me to play on time. And, I guess they gave them, I found out, a half a sack on that last little, that's for y'all storyteller guys. So it's no sack.
0 yards.
That's a sack.
It's a sack with 0 yards.
Yeah, they did that for y'all. They did that for y'all for the theatrics of it, for the storyline. Yeah, like a tie.
Look at how humble Dak Prescott is. He's been playing at an MVP level in his first 4 games, and he's given credit to the stats makers and to the guys up front. He went 31 for 40 passing, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a 129 passer rating and that rushing touchdown where he called his own number. 4th career game with 3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Dak playing at an extremely high level, and even Brian Schottenheimer saying that if you could find a quarterback in the NFL playing better than him right now, he'd like to see it, because he feels like Dak is the MVP through Week 4. Talking about guys who stepped up, though, how about George Pickens? George Pickens, without CeeDee Lamb in the fold, goes for 8 receptions on 11 targets, 134 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. 1 touchdown that put Dallas up going into the halftime break. They set themselves up for an opportunity with that play on the sideline, and then he had the go-ahead touchdown at the end of regulation that forced a Green Bay field goal to even send it into overtime. George Pickens showing that he is in wide receiver 1 territory, possibly with the Cowboys having CeeDee Lamb out these next couple of weeks, or even for the 31 other NFL teams that he's auditioning for going into a contract year. He had his best game as a Dallas Cowboy. Now, as we flip the attention to the defensive side, it was unfortunate for the defense. They had their struggles on 3rd down, the money down that they call it. The Packers finished 10 for 14 on 3rd down and 1 for 1 on 4th down to keep drives alive. Jordan Love had himself a day as well, 31 of 43 passing, 337 yards, 3 touchdowns in the tie against the Dallas Cowboys. When it comes down to the defense, they have that better communication in the secondary. They had a little bit more pressure. Tackling was a big focus, but it was one of a number of things that need to be cleaned up. Here's Solomon Thomas with more.
Everything that happened on the field was correctable, like things that we can get better at, things that we can fix. So no panic button. The connection of this team is the most important thing. So stay connected, stay believing, don't let anything fracture, and just keep building from that. Like all of our mistakes are fixable, and we'll get them fixed. We're a great football team, and we believe that, and we're going to show that.
One of those things is discipline for the Cowboys. Multiple penalties hurting the Cowboys in late scenarios and in big-time situations. You had some young guys like Brevin Spanford, Amaris Leofau, Donovan Ezeraku, all with penalties that really hurt the Cowboys. Even Sam Williams in on a face mask penalty on Jordan Love, all keeping those drives alive. And as Solomon Thomas just said, they're all correctable. That's a good thing for the Cowboys. There are multiple opportunities to get better at that going into their Week 5 matchup against the New York Jets. Cowboys looking for their first road win against the Jets since September of 2003. It's been over 2 decades since they've had a win against the Jets on the road. Jets coming off of a loss on Monday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. 27-21 was the final score. Justin Fields got going late, had a 43-yard rushing touchdown in the game. They made a close game late, setting up an opportunity for an onside kick, but that was about it for the Jets. The Jets getting desperate at this point in time. They'll return to MetLife Stadium. Fields is healthy. He was questionable going into that Week 4 matchup. They feel like he'll be ready to go for Week 5 against the Cowboys, providing another mobile quarterback threat that this Matt Eberflus defense is going to have to deal with again going into that matchup against the Jets. So with all of that being said, the desperation on the line, but still some talent there in New York to deal with. My key to getting a Week 5 win for the Cowboys is just that. Contain Justin Fields. You've seen Jordan Love. You've seen Caleb Williams, Jalen Hurts. All these guys that you've already played in 2025 can run the football. This shouldn't be anything new for the Cowboys defense. Contain him, stay off of those penalties like we just talked about a moment ago, and I think the Cowboys are the better football team going into MetLife Stadium for a noon kickoff on Fox this week. We've got plenty of coverage on the Dallas Cowboys side of things. Go ahead and download that Cowboys Now app on your connected TV, Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV. It doesn't matter. You need the Cowboys app if you are a true Cowboys fan because you've got so many pieces of content to devour between now and noon on Sunday, including the podcast schedule. How about Cowboys Storyline? You can give Nick Eatman a call and talk about this Cowboys team every Monday through Friday with the number 888-855-2297. Yes, I've got it memorized. You give him a call on Cowboys Storyline, and then Cowboys Pregame Live will get things kicked off 11 a.m. Central Time from the Star in Frisco. You can check your local listings, and you can also see it on DallasCowboys.com as well. The Cowboys official pregame show leading into kickoff will be right here from the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco. That's going to do it for us on a tie edition of Cowboys Update. I'll see you next week. I'm Kyle Youmans.